Welcome to Calm Your Crazy. I am doing this from my bedroom and my bed. I am not feeling very well, but the show must go on. So we are doing a podcast today and continuing the free will concept along with thinking. And the reason that this is hitting so hard today for me is because as somebody with CPTSD and the negative things that have happened in my life, I tend to have negative thinking that races. And one thing that you need to know is that when your mind is racing, your nervous system is dysregulated. Also, when you come from any type of background, it doesn't have to be trauma. You could have a really critical parent, a really sarcastic parent, and it makes you feel really small. And so there's things that you want to do inside, and there's places you want to go, and who you want to be, and it has a conflict with this other part of you that has to feel safe. And so when you don't feel safe, when you are operating from the negative fear that you have from your past situations, it often will show up as you trying to stay safe to be small. And when those two personalities inside you, or those two things that you want, are conflicting, it can create a lot of racing thoughts. For me, like if I don't get up and do something, if I'm not going and I can't sit still, I have these racing thoughts all the time. And it keeps me from actually being able to sit in my body and enjoy something, because I'm always thinking I have to do something, I have to perform, or I have to wear the mask, I have to do all these things in order to feel safe. And so we're going to talk about that today and how we can start shifting it. And this is how I start to shift it. And you need to start to think of things in terms of there's your spirit that is watching you, that is your awareness of yourself. You are not your mind, you are not your body, you are not your thoughts. You are consciousness having a human experience. And so if you think of it from that perspective, your thoughts are not you. They're just a byproduct of your brain trying to look for what it can control because it doesn't feel safe because of emotions from the past. So perception creates your reality. And I came from a negative background, so I created negative situations in my life to understand myself more. But now I'm to the point, I'm 43 and I don't want to create those situations anymore. So I'm going through a big recalibration period where there's my identity from the past and I'm shifting into a new reality. And right now, there are some times where things can get, a little uncomfortable and there are more challenges. But I have to shift my frame of thinking to one that says, these are challenges, these are not problems, and I can do this. So it's all about shifting and controlling your thoughts and realizing that you are not them, you are not your brain, and you are not your body. Those are tools for you so that you can live and you can control them. For every positive, there is a negative. For every negative, there's a positive. So if you come from a negative background, or you come from a background where you're really critical, people are really critical of you, or you've had some negative situations, those are going to make your brain automatically look for the negative in situations because it's trying to protect you. But for every negative thought, there's also a positive one. And so my challenge to you is, when you are getting a negative thought, if you are aware of it, and something that helps to know that you're thinking a negative thought is if your body doesn't feel good, you probably have some negative thoughts running in the background. So if you can be aware of them and you can hear what they're saying, then you can say the opposite of it. What's the positive angle? Because there is literally nothing wrong in this moment. You are safe. You're in your house. I'm in my house. My dogs are with me. I am safe in this moment. If my nervous system is dysregulated, my brain's going to be seeking anything that can be wrong. And there's nothing wrong. So I have to tell myself, I am safe in this moment. I am safe in this moment. So Perception creates your reality, and free will is how you choose to see or react to the situation or outcome. We have free will to see and do whatever that we want to, in a sense. Reality happens, and it happens for us, not to us. So our job is to choose how we see it and to choose ourselves in that moment, that we are okay, that we are having an experience. And it takes repetition, and it takes time for some people. For other people, it's really easy. They can just flip that switch and be like, life is about fun, life is about games, life is a game, let's do this, and just be fine. Other people, it's going to take repetition. For me, it takes repetition, and it gets easier and easier. And there are times where I'm like, you know what, life is just a game. We're just here to have fun, and I'm going to have a positive experience no matter what. But that's not every day. So on the days where it isn't a great mind shift, or there isn't, a great place for me to feel, I tell myself, I'm shifting realities right now. This is a challenge for me, and I'm not telling myself that story anymore. Because when we create the future from fear, when we choose options that make us feel small, we are choosing from feelings from the past. I'm choosing smallness because it wasn't safe to be seen. I wasn't going to be accepted by my family. I wasn't going to be accepted by the public. And worst of all, I wasn't going to have acceptance from myself. And screw everybody else. What you want is self-acceptance, no matter what. Self-acceptance in the face of anything that you're doing. Self-acceptance even if you screw up. Self-acceptance no matter what. And reframe it to where it's not a screw up. It is a journey. It is a path. It is a learning experience. And I'm here having that learning experience. So when I am having those moments and I want to shift realities, I tell myself, no, I'm not telling myself that story anymore. And then I have a quick visualization of the new story that I want to tell. When you're rewiring your mind, your brain, think of it as like you're defragging a computer. I don't know if you know what defragging is, but you have a computer that has memory and it has storage space, and it gets fragmented over time. And that happens in your brain and your body too. So when you're rewiring it and you're being yourself and you're being authentic, it's a defrag of your system. It is a rewiring of your mind and your brain. And you're installing new programming. That's your new story. And the more that you do it, the more that it becomes your reality. And doing this over and over in a scientific way builds a new neural pathway in your brain, because you have these neural pathways and they're just the old story. It's just your pre-programming. It's everything that you've ever done. It's already stimulus that your brain has taken in and decided what it's going to be. So you have to override that. And the more that you do this, you are building a new neural pathway until it becomes a natural reaction. Now, what happens is what I'm talking about. You get those challenges as the new story comes in. You might get scared, and that's your old story. So when that comes up, you need to say to yourself, there's nothing to fear. That is the old story, and then flash again to your visual. And I'm going to tell you how to do the visual at the end of this so that you can have this for yourself and that you can use it every time you want to build your visual. This can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. If you have ADHD or your brain is running or dysregulated, it's going to be hard to focus. So you want to do your belly breaths, you do your double intake and then a long exhale. It stimulates your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve is attached to your brain and it runs the length of your body. And so you want to stimulate that so that you can bring yourself back to base. You can bring yourself back to zero. Also, your nervous system works for you. It's not working against you. It has kept you safe this entire time. It has kept you alive. It has kept you well. So asking it, you have to be gentle with it. Asking it to go ahead and go with you in this new way. It's going to come up and it's going to, you have stories, you have things that you tell yourself. I have things that I tell myself that are in the background, and my nervous system knows that. My body contains those memories. So you have to expose your nervous system slowly. Think of it like a band, like a rubber band. You want to stretch it, but not break it. And the more that you expose yourself to the stimulus of the new life that you want, and the new thought, and the new programming, and the new story, there might be some resistance there, and that's okay. Meet that resistance and do it anyway. What's on the other side of fear is what you want. And it is literally just a metabolization of your nervous system. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel comfortable. But whenever you started learning to drive a car, you probably felt the same way. Whenever you started a new job, you probably felt the same way. And it's just the unknown. There's nothing that we can hold on to that's going to keep us safe, because we're stepping into the unknown. So giving yourself some grace and realizing that it just takes time and you have to expose your nervous system to it kind of takes it out of it is a you thing and your problem and your mind, and makes it more of a this is something new and this is normal, and we're going to expose ourselves slowly. And even though it feels uncomfortable, we can turn that into excitement, and we have all these options because we get to choose our reality. We get to choose our story. And the old programming kind of makes it seem like we don't have a choice, especially if we come from a background where you didn't have choice and you didn't have anyone to protect you. You didn't have that parental attachment, and you didn't have somebody there for you. It can feel extra scary, but there is nothing wrong. You are doing nothing wrong, and you can do this. So if everything is really hard, remember to tell yourself that is the old story. You can make it as fast or slow as it works for you, and ask yourself, when it's slow and you want it to be fast, what story are you telling yourself? Because we can be holding ourselves back. I can be holding myself back sometimes, because I'm scared. So I don't want to do this today. Am I holding myself back? What story am I telling myself? Am I saying, oh, I need to go slow? Or is it that I'm just afraid? So you kind of have to sit with yourself, and that might be hard, but you need to sit with yourself and say, what story am I creating? And then ask yourself, what story do I want to tell? And the story you want to tell is that visualization. It's the visualization and the image that you create for yourself as the new reality that you want to have. And time is a man-made construct. It's also therefore created by you, because you create reality and you create time. So if there is no time, you can heal as fast or slow as you want to. There are no rules. You can tell yourself the new story and install something new. And that is the number one thing that you need to remember. There are no rules here except the ones that we make for ourselves. All right, let's break it down further on how to create a quick visualization for reprogramming. And to do this, you need to understand that not only do you have to do this part, and it can be uncomfortable, but you are going to have to take action. You are going to have to expose your brain to new experiences that you have not experienced before. You cannot create a new reality. You cannot create a new timeline if you are doing the same things and if you are the same person. You have to create your avatar of who that person is, of who you are in that reality. The reality that you want has you in it, and it exists in the quantum. A reminder, quantum is everything that's around us that we can't see. We take from the quantum, and it's just a big ocean of waves, and we take from the quantum when we think, and the wave starts to come up and it starts to crest, and then when we take action and we follow through and we get what we're thinking about, that creates a new reality, and the wave crashes and it becomes matter. Okay? That's how it works. So you need to take action and do things differently, or else you are not going to change your reality. Your brain is creating from the past. Your brain is thinking from the past, trying to create a new future. So you have to not only step outside of your comfort zone and do new things that you've never done before, and think new thoughts that you've never thought before, and love yourself the way you've never loved yourself before. But you also have to really take the time to sit with yourself and think about everything that you want, everything that you've been doing, and everything that you want to do. What does that look like for you? Your brain is taking in all the stimulus from everything that you do, and in order to create something new, you've got to have something new for it to create a neural pathway to. If you're always doing the same things, you're always going to have the same result because your brain is creating from that space. It's really important to stay in the moment. And that's what I meant to say earlier. Kind of just lost my train of thought there because I was thinking too much. But you've got to step out of your comfort zone and then stay in the moment as much as possible. If you ruminate, if your mind is racing, your thoughts are racing, you are not present. And when you're present and when you're calm, oh man, you can feel it. It feels so good. And you can feel everything is so crisp, sharp. You can see things and you can see possibilities and you feel possibilities. So what I say to myself whenever I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and it's a little scary, I tend to want to go into my mind and think about things. So I say to myself, just stay here, just stay in the present, stay with me. You know, I'm talking to myself, stay with me, let's stay together and be in this present moment and try to look around and see what we're seeing, what we're feeling, the colors, and stepping outside of our brain makes us so present. That's when the change really can happen and you can really see the synchronicity is when you're present and when your nervous system is really, really calm. So let's go back to the reprogramming visualization. I want you to build yourself an avatar. Now, this isn't what you look like now, okay? This is if you could make anything you want. This is for the life that you want, okay? You can get wild with it if you want to. This is the future you. Now, if it looks just like the you now, that's fine. Go ahead and let's do the white room exercise. If you've been following me, if you know what the white room exercise is, this is going to be repeating for you. But I build myself a mind palace. And when I am doing meditation, when I'm thinking about things that I want, I go into my white room. I build the walls, the windows, I decorate it, and it kind of sets things in my brain. And I go into the brainwave state for me to actually start doing this. It's a form of meditation. So go into your white room. What does it look like? Does it have windows? Do you have wallpaper? What does the furniture look like? Now you can do this as fast or slow as you want to, but once you have your room set up exactly the way you want, and you can pick anything you want, this is a magical place where you can do anything you want. I want you to picture yourself in this room. Pick your hair color, your hairstyle, the shape of your eyebrows, the color of your eyes, lips, your cheeks, your chin. Now visualize the rest of the body. What do you want your body to look like? I'm going to pause right here and talk about, there's a man that talks about weight loss, and you know, my mother was really into every single weight loss thing, and she would always tell me about it. And Gabriel, it's the Gabriel method. And what I found interesting about his method was he would visualize, and he teaches his students to visualize and love their bodies and visualize what their bodies want to look like, and they lose weight because everything's in the mind. Everything is always in the mind. So if you want to be more fit, if you want to be thinner, if you want to gain more weight, this is where you want to put it on yourself, okay? Now, what style of clothing do you have? What shoes? What accessories? What jewelry? This is a fun meditation exercise because you're actually doing something in your mind instead of trying to clear your mind and clear your thoughts and focus on your breathing, which for me can be really tedious and boring, and I don't like it. So I try to do it as much as possible to calm myself, but this is actually a form of meditation that is actually fun for me. So you can pick tattoos if you want to, piercings, accessories, jewelry, and you can do as little or as much detail as you want. But I'm telling you right now, the more detail that you put in, the more that you are solidifying your reality. So Now, what is your career? If you could do your wildest dream, anything that you want to do, what is your career? What would you do? You got to assign yourself what you want to do. Are you going to be a stay-at-home mom? Are you an artist? Are you a pilot, traveler, photographer? What did you want to be when you were a kid? That's really important. What did your kid self want to be before everything happened to it? Because that is where you're going to draw your inspiration from. That is what's dying to come out, is all the things that you wanted to do and never got to do when you were a kid. Some kids didn't get to grow up. I had kids at 19. I didn't get to live my life. So there's a whole lot of things that I want to do. But maybe you want to be an artist, pilot, and traveler. You don't have to pick one thing. You can be a mom who stays at home with her kid that's also a pilot sometimes, who's an artist sometimes, who travels sometimes. And maybe you have a life where your kids come with you because you are a huge influencer. You can do whatever you want to in this space, because in the quantum and in these realities that exist out there, all of these possibilities exist. So you can have whatever you want. Now, assign yourself your attributes. Are you funny? Are you happy inside? Are you content with yourself? All these things may not feel like something that's you, but right now we are in the magical place. So you can assign whatever you want to yourself. Are you funny? Are you happy inside? Content with yourself? Do you love yourself with that wild love? And you know what wild love is? It's the feeling that you have for yourself when you fall in love with somebody. When you fall in love with somebody, when you fall in love with something that you're doing, that feeling comes from within you. That person is bringing it out in you. And it exists inside yourself, and you can use that and remember that feeling and give it to yourself. That is that wild love. And you can give it to yourself anytime you want to by just recalling the feeling and saying, I love me. I love me. All right. Now, are you an honest person? Are you brave? Are you open? Are you emotionally mature? Now, we're going to put yourself in a place. Your room, your white room, is going to become a place. Any place that you want to be. Okay? The white room is just a starting point. So now we're going to put yourself in a place. Any place that you want to be. Are you outside? Are you inside? In a park? Are you at the beach? Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? You want to be as detailed as possible. Now, what is around you? Are there people? Lights? What kind of lights? Sounds? What kind of sounds? Buildings? What kind of buildings? Smells? What kind of smells? What time of year is it? What are you doing? Who are you with? Be as detailed as possible. This is not a chore. This is supposed to be light and fun. Choose whatever you want. This is a magical place. If your favorite smell is churros, if your favorite smell is popcorn, put it in there. If you're at a museum, if you are at a park, if you are... I am so sorry about this noise. Just a moment. It is right about the time that I start to record this stuff that, the dogs start barking and the construction begins outside. So I just take that as me creating a reality where I have to adjust to outside stimulus and just go for it anyway. All right. Now, as detailed as you can get it, because that is really what creates the reality. And now I want you to zoom out, okay? And take a snapshot picture of yourself in your mind of what you made yourself wear in the place that you are, who you're with, and I want you to feel the feelings you assigned to yourself, that you're kind, brave, honest, open, emotionally mature. You have all the things going for you. You feel good. Now, close your eyes, not if you're driving, of course. And I want you to imagine yourself merging into the avatar. Float towards your avatar and become one, like you are merging into the body, just like you see in the movies where the ghost kind of goes into the body to take over. That's what you want to do. You are going into this avatar, okay? Once you are inside the avatar, wiggle your toes, squeeze your butt. I know this sounds weird, but if you're laying down, that makes more sense. But you want to, or if you're sitting down, it's really so that you can start to mind map and build this brain sensation between the avatar you just made of yourself and your physical body. You are mapping your brain and telling your brain to become one with this that you chose, this thought, this vision that you have. And then you are coming one with it. Visualization is so powerful, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and visualization. That's why we're doing this, okay? So you wiggle your toes, you squeeze your buttocks, you squeeze your arm muscles, look to your left, look to your right, come back to center, and open your eyes. Remember the snapshot you took before merging? That is the quick visualization that you go back to when you're rewriting your story. So in the beginning of the podcast, we talked about saying to yourself, no, I'm not telling myself that story anymore. And then going to the quick visualization of the new story you want to tell. We just created your avatar, and that is the new story that you want to tell. So when you have these racing thoughts, when these negative things come up, this is when you want to tell yourself that is the old story. And then you want to visualize the snapshot of your new story. Okay? This is what works. I have listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've watched his programs. I have looked at people that like the Gabriel method and how he has people lose weight. Everything is in your mind. Everything is quantum physics. Everything is possible. When they say anything is possible, they are not joking. It is so possible. Every single thing that you want is possible, but you have to take action towards it. So you have to make that visualization and put it in your mind, and then you have to take action. Start stepping outside of your comfort zone. Go to somewhere you've never been before. Start doing the things that you've always wanted to do when you were little. Take the art class. Challenge yourself. Right now, I'm doing rope courses at the U.S. National Whitewater Center. You're in a harness. You're doing rope courses. You're holding on for dear life. I mean, it is a challenge to your nervous system. The fun part is zip lining, but then you've got to walk back, and you've got to walk back on these planks and that are held together by ropes, and everything is wobbly. And it is me challenging my nervous system and showing myself that I can do this and that this is okay. Because a lot of times when we are so criticized and when we have so much that we have built up over our frequency and we've taken on and we've put on ourselves to limit ourselves, we don't trust ourselves because we've played it small. And there's that little version in us that wants to play it big, that wants to get out. And if we don't do it, then we need to build that muscle and let ourselves know, yes, we can trust ourselves. We have the discipline. We can move forward and we can do these things. There's a 100-foot drop where you just go straight up 100 feet and then you step off the platform and you free fall for a little bit before the weight catches you. And I'm working up towards that. I have no problem doing the big zip lines. And you know why? Because I went to Belize in 2012 and I climbed the mountain. And I was a smoker back then, and so it was incredibly difficult. But I was like, I'm not going to putter out in front of all these people going up this mountain. So, like, I was wheezing, and we were going up in elevation, and I still did it. And then it's Belize, right? You know what? I'm just praying that they have their harnesses right, that everything's going to work. But I did it. And we went to the top of the mountain. We ziplined over and over again all the way down. So ziplining for me met that fear, metabolized it in my nervous system. I can do those just fine. 100-foot drop, not so much. So we're working towards that one. But as soon as I do it for the first time, I'll be able to do it just fine again. The more that you expose yourself to things that you're afraid of, the more you do them, the more that you show your nervous system that you are safe, that it's possible, And that's how you learn to drive a car. That's how you learn anything new. If you're taking classes, if you've done anything, it's literally your brain, your nervous system, and your body working together for new stimulus to come in. And we, as spiritual people, as spiritual beings, come here to feel. We come here to play. We come here to feel. We come here to do things that we want to do. This is a playground for all intents and purposes. And if you go into the hard level, you're going to be born into a life that's a little bit harder, and it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you. That's the challenge in your brain. That's the challenge to get over it. And that's the challenge in your nervous system. You have to continually press forward. But what's on the other side makes you feel so good and so powerful and so trusting of yourself, because you know that you can do it. And the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. And you gotta eat, pray, love. Life can be scary. Things are going to happen. You are going to lose people. You are going to lose pets. You are going to lose family. You are going to lose friends. That is part of this delicious feeling of this life. You cannot experience the good without experiencing the other side of it too, or else you wouldn't have that contrast. So yes, we're going to lose family, loved ones, and pets. I lost one of my pets in January, and it was so hard. And the way that I got over it was just thinking of her with love, and thinking of her and being grateful for all the time that I got to spend with her. And yeah, there was some negative thoughts about how I should have, taken her to the vet sooner, because, she had a little bit of a protruding part of her intestine, and it got cut off with blood supply, and then it became necrotic, and so we had to put her down. And so there are those thoughts that come in too. If only I had taken her to the vet sooner, if only I had been done this and that. And the thing is that it happened the way it was supposed to, for a reason. And I was so stiff at the time. I was so numb for some of the things that I was going through, that this really taught me to open up to feeling, because I wanted to grieve her. She deserved that. I wanted to feel her loss, because that meant that I loved her and that I was going to miss her, and she needs that, and she deserves that. And, whether or not you believe this is a game and that we all come down here and we're creating everything, we come down here to feel. And our loved ones and our pets are part of us, and we honor them, and we honor the place that we came to and the things that we're doing whenever we love them and whenever we grieve for them. And you've got to tell yourself it's temporary. You want to feel it. And the more that you feel it, the sooner it leaves. The more that you grieve it, the sooner it leaves. But you can't just grieve and grieve and grieve and grieve. You've got to grieve, feel it, and then tell yourself it's going to be okay. That you're going to feel again, you're going to move on, and that everything is going to work and out in your favor. So I hope this was helpful for you today. I hope that you can take something away from this and move on to another day, and that you use the visualization for your avatar to make yourself a new story. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.